Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this Mayfield School Board meeting to order. For those of you on YouTube, this is Mayfield Heights, Ohio. Could we have roll call, Mr. Snyder?
Mr. Finaro.
Here.
Ms. Grieve.
Here.
Mr. Hess.
Here.
Mr. Tressi.
Here.
And we will dispense with the pledge, since we don't have an in-house audience this evening. Community communication, we didn't have anyone approach us to speak, so we will move on from that. And the president is on vacation, no announcement from her. Dr. Barnes, you have any announcements?
No announcements, Mr. Vice President.
Okay, thank you. And I don't believe that there were any committee meetings this month with the board members. Correct me if I'm wrong, otherwise we will move on.
I just wanted to say all the projects are moving along. There's a lot going on.
Yeah,
Too
yeah,
much to
yeah.
go through it. You've seen Dr. Barnes' weekly memo, everything that's happening, so it's looking good out
Big
there.
changes at the high school.
Yes.
Can I get a copy of the agenda? The agenda is right on that table.
So that will bring us to the superintendent's consent agenda, items A through F. Do I hear a motion?
Second.
Mr. Tressi moved and Mr. Finaro seconded. Is that correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Thank you.
Motion?
Roll.
Call, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Mr. Finaro.
Yes.
Ms. Grieve.
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes.
Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
Then we have the treasurer's report, financial statements for June 30th, 2023. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Finaro moved and Ms. Grieve seconded.
And roll call.
Mr. Finaro.
Yes.
Ms. Grieve.
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes.
Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
Then we have financial transactions.
So moved.
Second.
So Mr. Tressi moved and Mr. Finaro seconded. And I would simply like to state that these are actually the reversal of what we ended last fiscal. We advanced money into to cover end of year deficits, and we are now moving money back to the general fund because these are related to federal grants that are expense reimbursements. Please pay up front and then get reimbursed by the state of Ohio.
Thank you. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Finaro.
Yes.
Ms. Grieve.
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes.
Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
And in other treasurer's business, we have the minutes of the regular board meeting from June 28th. Your motion?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Grieve and Mr. Tressi seconded.
And roll call, please.
Mr. Finaro.
Yes.
Ms. Grieve.
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes.
Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
And then we have the construction manager at risk agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Tressi and Mr. Finaro. This is an amendment to the construction manager risk contract. As I was sharing with Ms. Grieve, she asked the question about are these change orders? No. This is the competitive view of the estimated project from the beginning, so this is just simply a continuation of the project, not necessarily a change order. It's the process that we're using, which is the construction manager at risk concept. It puts all the risk to the construction manager, which is White House Construction. It's a very efficient method.
Thank you. And roll call, please.
Mr. Finaro.
Yes.
Ms. Grieve.
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes.
Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
And then we have the addendum to the 2023-2024 cell phone stipends. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Grieve. Just want to make sure, did everybody see the attachment?
Yes.
Mr. Finaro.
Yes.
Ms. Grieve.
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes.
And Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
And we have an addendum for the 2023-24 Chromebook repair fees.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Tressi and Mr. Finaro. We did include the comparison.
Thank you. I'm glad to see some of the costs have gone down.
Yes, yes.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Finaro.
Yes.
Ms. Grieve.
Yes.
Mr. Hess.
Yes.
Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
And in other board business, we have the agreement for the provision of a school resource officer by the village of Gates Mills. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Grieve and Mr. Tressi. Thank you. Mr. Fenaro,
Yes.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
And another addendum, certified and classified substitute rate changes. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
And as we had mentioned, these are rates that we increased last year. We want to continue them in this year to evaluate whether or not we should make a request to permanently change or modify mid-year if we can't find substitutes because there are shortages. And we believe coming out of COVID, now we might begin to reestablish that pool or those pools.
Roll call, please.
This is the last year for the use of those ESSER funds?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. No, this is last year for all of our COVID-related stimulus resources, whether it be ARP ESSER or ESSER round 2.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Fenaro,
Yes.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
And addendum for the substitute bus driver rate for former Mayfield City School District bus drivers.
So moved.
Second.
Again, we did this last year. The problems finding bus drivers, they're like, what do they call them, unicorns. And this has been very effective for us to get drivers that know us and that we can actually pay them a little bit higher rate and they know our streets and our kids. Having recently worked there.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Fenaro,
Yes.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,
Yes.
and Mr. Tressi.
Yes.
And that brings us to adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Reed, thank you.
And roll call.
Mr. Fenaro,
Yes.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Mr. Hess,